Welcome to Amish Roots, plain talk in a modern world. Thank you for joining me. For this Amish child, Christmas really and truly was the best time of the year. The Amish celebrate Christmas like no other holiday. Canada Day, 4th of July, and Thanksgiving, well, they may as well not exist as far as I'm concerned. Even birthdays in our home, we're one yawn away from being forgotten. But Christmas was special. Just like any other children, we began to browse the toy catalogs when they arrived in the mail. We put our names beside the things we were interested in. The newspaper always printed a Christmas Carol songbook, which they sent once a year in the local paper. We always had it in tatters by the time Christmas season was over because we loved to sit and sing, whether we sang with others from the family or all alone. I wonder now if my mom read it to see its arrival or was a source of entertainment, since she also loved to sing. Decorations were hung up throughout the house, but we were not allowed to have a tree. Most of the decorations were homemade. We made wreaths out of stretched clothes hangers using cloth scraps like this, and we would tie it around the hanger like this and then shove them close together all the way around, and then we hung them up on our doorways. In those days, everyone sent Christmas cards in the mail, so we hung them on strings above the doorways, and we used last year's cards to make Christmas balls that looked like this. So we hung these up on our windows. Our house looked quite festive, even without a tree. Many kinds of cookies and squares were baked ahead of time for unexpected guests and family gatherings. During the week between Christmas and New Year's was a time of light labor, but lots of visiting. Most days, we either went to someone's house or we had people in. It was a week of celebrations. The most important gathering was when we got together with our aunts, uncles, and cousins, with the families taking turns hosting each year. But as my siblings and cousins got older and got married, everyone began having their own Christmases. So the extended family gathering slowly died out. It is just how the Amish do things. As Christmas approached, I would get more and more excited. The festive decorations, the smells of Christmas baking, and the carols made the atmosphere tingle with anticipation. Then my mom and dad would hire a driver to take them to the city for shopping trips. We were always told to stay in the back room until all the parcels were unloaded and carried to the cellar and hidden up in the beams. Knowing they were there was excruciating, but we were warned that if we peeked, we would not be surprised Christmas morning. I remember sitting on the basement steps, looking at the parcels, and dreaming that they held the presents I had wished for. But I never actually looked inside any of the bags. On Christmas Eve at our house, we always had a quick supper of cereal or apple dumplings. Chores were started early, and then we would gather around the table to read Psalms from the Bible. Each family member would take a turn picking a psalm number out of a paper bag, and Dad would read that psalm. This was never a joyful time for me, as the scripture was read in German. So I didn't really understand it, and I was too impatient to pay attention. You can imagine this took a while with a large family, but it was a tradition, so it was expected part of the holidays. After we finished, everyone either started getting ready for bed or sat down to relax and read before turning in. My mom and older sisters would set the table for the morning. You see, our presents didn't get wrapped in fancy paper. They simply got placed at our place setting at the table. Our plates were set out because they would be loaded with candy, peanuts, nuts, and of course, an orange. Sleep never came easy for me that night as I would listen to my mom and dad whispering as they set out our presents. I could hear the candy being poured onto our plates, and my mouth would water just thinking about their sweetness. As I have mentioned in my previous vlogs, we didn't get treats like this very often, so this was special. In the morning, we would come downstairs as soon as we saw the light being lit through the cracks in the floor. Any other morning, my mom or sisters would have to drag me out of bed, but not Christmas morning. We would rush to the table to see what we got, and perhaps to sneak a few candies before Mom would tell us to save them until later. After everyone had seen their gifts, boys would go to the barn for chores. The girls would clear the table so we could set it for breakfast. Christmas morning at our house was always rushed because presents had to be viewed and then put aside. As you see, the Amish always have church Christmas Day, no matter what day of the week it falls on. Quick breakfast, and then off to church. I didn't mind going to church and leaving my gifts behind because I wanted to tell my friends what I had got and find out what they had received. We also had a late lunch at the home that hosted church, and then we would return to our house to enjoy a week of leisure. The only time I did not like Christmas church was when it was our turn to host it. Then our presents had to be hidden away, and we could not get them out until everyone left. Seeing your gifts and then immediately having to tuck them away seemed to be the worst kind of cruelty ever. Many English people have asked me over the years what an Amish Christmas is like, and I've tried to explain it to the best of my memory. I've also been asked many times if Amish children get gifts or if they just get Bibles for presents. Every household has their own traditions, but I am quite positive everyone gets a gift. As I've said before, an Amish Christmas is filled with food, family, and fun. And these three things are placed in order of importance depending on what your age is. I invite you to join me next month on January 8th, as I will be sharing about the many gifts our Amish family received over the years. Mach's gut, and we will see you next time on Amish Roots.